Let's talk about how to reclaim our souls when AI takes our jobs. And so the fundamental premise of this video is that it's not that we're going to lose our jobs to AI, so we've already lost our humanity to AI, to the machine of digital remote work, and we've already been forced to become poor imitations of machines. And so, in order to reclaim our soul, we need to make this fundamental shift in how we view work. And AI taking our jobs might actually be that trigger point, that phase shift that starts to wake us up to the possibility that there's a different way to go about our work in our life. And so, if you watch any of my other videos, you've known that I've talked about mind as machine. How, in the past, it was the industrial revolutions. We forced our bodies to try to match the rhythms of machines, aka factories. And now it's no different today, except rather than forcing our bodies to match the rhythms of machines, we've co-opted our minds to act like digital machines, to process emails all day, format spreadsheets, analyze metrics all day. And as AI agents get better and better, they will handle straight up all of these tasks. And most people see this as a really, really bad thing. AI is going to take all of our jobs and chaos, and chaos could emerge from this. But there's a way that we could relate to this shift that could actually be liberating for us. And so, rather than using our minds in pursuit of the machinery, the machine of profit generation, we could potentially make this fundamental reversal where we put meaning generation, humanity, having a zest for life above revenue generation. And this is the fundamental shift that I want to talk about today in this video. And so we all have these different crises of purpose. Right now, the crisis is that we've identified with our jobs in such a way that as AI takes our jobs, it's going to cause a lot of internal disruption, internal suffering even, because AI is already doing a lot of the things that we're doing, like a lot of the knowledge work and digital work that we're doing today in the world. Content generation, sales and lead generation, client delivery, all these things AI is quickly being able to do just as well as humans. And so we're going to have this crisis where we're going to have to ask ourselves, like, who am I if not this job that AI just took, right? And so right now we're really realizing that, we're a cog in someone's machine, right? Right now we are a cog in someone else's machine, and everyone's business is a cog in the greater economic machine. And so therefore what we're looking to dive deeper into is this: that AI will force us to confront what it truly means to be human. And what I'm proposing here is that we have to make this fundamental reversal. As of right now, we're putting economic gain above everything else, and everything else in our life is being subordinated to economic gain, right? And so we have this thing of like, make more money. That is the fundamental premise of I believe the fundamental premise of the United States at this moment. Everyone who lives in this culture, as we're becoming more globalized, this is a global thing. I think it already is a global thing, that making more money is at the top of this hierarchy, and connection, creativity, contribution to humanity, contemplation, emotional mastery, and resilience, all of these things, core virtues of integrity, these things are all underneath this value of making more money. And if we are stuck in this paradigm, then as AI agents get better and better, we're going to continue to reinforce this paradigm, and we're going to use AI agents to become better at making money, and nothing is fundamentally going to change unless that is you understand at the paradigmatic level what is happening and seek to shift it there. And so what does that mean to shift things at the paradigmatic level? It means that you're going to fundamentally create a reversal here where having soul, having focusing on emotional resilience, on having a zest for life, on passion, on soul is going to be at the top of this hierarchy, and making money is going to be subordinated to that, such that you're using AI agents to generate revenue, sure, insofar as that helps you live a more meaningful life, right? And so everyone has to survive. We all have to make money, right? And as AI agents are coming online, the fundamental premise here is that AI agents are providing us with a more effective way of getting things done in less time. And some people will just use that to say, okay, let me just install 1,000 agents running 24/7, and let me just always be focusing, work 80 hours a week to try to make as many more new agents to get ahead of the curve as fast as possible, right? But that is just in this like zero, it's playing this zero sum game, right? And so a omni-win game, a positive sum game, is one where we realize that if I stay in this paradigm of money above all else, I will continue to be working myself to death, burning out. This is not a sustainable way to live. And even if you go meta, it's not even a sustainable way to make money, because you're going to burn out and then you're not going to be working for months, years at a time. And so the more harmonious way to live is to put self above all else. What are your spiritual needs? What are your emotional needs? What are your moral needs? What are your relational needs? There are all these ways that we can show up in our lives to create more value, to go deeper into contemplation, to connect with other humans, to focus on creativity, to figure out what it is we want to master and contribute to humanity. This takes introspection. It can't just be done by doing more work faster, right? The more work that we're doing faster, the more abstract, the less in touch we are with what it is that truly fuels us. And so we have to have this balance between introspection and work and action. And the fundamental premise here is that work, action, and making money is secondary to the primary of being human, not trying to be like a machine. So there's a couple different questions we can ask ourselves. When was the last time you felt fully alive, like fully exuberant and like full of energy? What activities make you lose track of time? What would you create if money were not an object? And what relationships would you deepen if you weren't being continually exhausted from trying to become like a machine? These are the fundamental questions to ask ourselves. And the fundamental thing to ask ourselves is, what would it look like to truly flourish as a human being, and how do we subordinate AI agents as a way of making money in order to create greater degrees of flourishing for ourselves and for others? This is fundamentally what we need to ask ourselves. And ultimately, rather than trying to use machines to help us become more like machines ourselves, how do we learn to dance with machines and use AI to amplify and be subordinated to higher order principles such as beauty, truth, goodness, integrity, love? All these things we can use AI to actually help us become more human and embody these traits more and more in our actions, in how we're showing up in the world and how we're existing. And that's fundamentally the paradigmatic shift that, if we are to make this, I truly believe this is what starts to orient our life towards being good. What I mean by that, I mean like to live a good, fulfilling life. If economic gain is the pinnacle of your existence, I truly believe that is antithetical to living a fulfilling life. And so these are things to contemplate. I hope you found this interesting, insightful, valuable. And yeah, let me know in the comments if there's any particular aspect of this video that you found resonated, because ultimately I'm trying to deepen into these ideas. You'll notice that a lot of these videos are touching on a lot of the same ideas from slightly different angles. The core fundamental topic of this channel is, how do we use AI to create greater degrees of agency, freedom, and human flourishing? rather than to become more like machines and to lose our jobs. And so there's a whatchamacallit, there's a way to relate to this AI transition that actually creates greater degrees of agency, of empowerment, of joy, of flourishing on an individual level. And that's what it is I'm trying to communicate here and trying to get across in these videos, because without that, things can get pretty dark pretty fast when relating to where AI is going and how fast everything is changing. And so fundamentally, what we're trying to do here is live better lives as a result of AI. So that's really the goal of this channel.